Hi and welcome to another YouTube video. In today's video I get to do something extra special and introduce you to something I've been working on for 1.5 years now, the Ambitious Generations Challenge. And what I did 1.5 years ago was starting to experiment with the aspirations in The Sims. I wanted to have completed every aspiration and wanted to see which ones take how long and which ones are the most fun, because a lot of people were complaining about them just being tutorials for the new packs, which I totally agree with, but I wanted to see if they are fun at least. But I didn't want to do all of that with just one sim. And so naturally it all evolved into some kind of legacy challenge. And while at the beginning I was kind of speedrunning through the aspirations, in later generations the Sims had more personality, they had other skills that they wanted to master, and they had attraction preferences and a kind of story and personality. And thankfully I kept making notes about all of that and the entire process to be able to recreate it, because from the beginning I kind of felt like I was onto something. And when I was done with the last aspiration, I developed it all to be a more clean document where each generation has different skills, careers and aspirations to master that were the most fun to me, while also leading you through all the different worlds in The Sims. But I didn't want to release it just like that. I wanted to playtest it to make sure that the gameplay challenges that I had set are easily doable in a normal lifespan before the child ages up to a young adult. And so I balanced out the challenges a little bit more and gave them more character and refined their story a little bit, and it was really helpful and fun to playtest all of it. Okay, so let's quickly get through the rules of the challenge. Even though I playtested it, sometimes, especially in Generation 2 and 13, needed to change through a too long lifespan to get through the challenges, and sometimes I changed to short lifespan to not have to wait so long until the child ages up. So it's totally fine if you also skip through the different lifespans throughout your playthrough of the challenge. Each generation comes with the gameplay challenges that need to be completed before you move on to the next generation, a name and personality for that sim, a build challenge, kind of saying which kind of build this person would live in. But no worries if you don't feel like building. I made a house fitting for every generation, a starter house for them, basically on my OriginID, which I also put into the document. So if you don't feel like building and just want to hop in to gameplay, you can just download a fitting house for said generation. And each generation also comes with their own attraction preferences and a little story. The attraction preferences are just preferences, nothing more. The sim doesn't need to end up with a sim that looks and is like that. But I think it would be a fun challenge if we all try to make sims on the gallery that look like the preferred sim or would be the perfect sim for a specific generation. I think that could be fun. And the purpose of the story is to give you a little inspiration for how the life and love life of the sim of that generation could play out. But if you have a different or better idea, or if the game pushes you into a different direction, feel free to take that path and make your story unique. And very important, each generation can be played with Sims of any gender and any sexuality. And to get a biological heir in relationships where that wouldn't be possible, you can change the ability to get children in Create a Sim, but adopted children also qualify to be heirs of the next generation. And there are also base game variants for each challenge and generation, so you don't need any packs to play this challenge, and you don't need mods to play this challenge. I would recommend MC Command Center to ensure you don't live in a completely dead town everywhere at the end. But yeah, if the story and this challenge is too long for you, or you don't like the concept for a specific generation, feel free to skip some generations or don't do specific things. The only important thing basically is that you have fun, and I hope I can bring you a little bit of fun with this challenge and all of these generations. Yeah, I basically hope that you have as much fun with this as I had. Oh, and on that note, I'll quickly plug that I'll probably have my first sim stream on the 17th, so this Sunday, and I will start this challenge again by making a sim, and I would love to do some polls and ask you for input to really decide how we make the first sim and in which direction we take their story. And with all of that out of the way, let's get to Generation 1, which is all focused around sports. You need to reach level 10 of the athlete career, reach level 10 of the fitness skill, and complete the bodybuilder aspiration. And your name, like the name for the first generation sim, should be inspired by one of your favorite real-life athletes or sports. Some examples that I thought of were Serena for Serena Williams, Michael for Michael Phelps, or to have a broader idea of sports. I also thought that the name Olympia would be super cool for the first generation, but do whatever you like, those are just examples. The traits of that sim are active, bro, and adventurous, and if you don't have Snowy Escape, the base game replacement for adventurous is ambitious. Some lifestyle that would fit the Generation 1 sim but are not required to complete it would be energetic and health food nuts, and their star sign is Aries. And you live in Willow Creek in a classic suburban house, and you can build that house at the starter house with a budget of 10,000 simoleons, but they can only be used on the exterior. The interior has to be completely empty, apart from a floor plan, bathroom furniture, and a small kitchen. And even if the house costs less than 10,000 simoleons, you start gameplay with 0 simoleons. And because of their own interest in sports, the Gen 1 sim is very attracted to muscular sims and sims with the traits active and non-committal, with the non-committal traits. So basically, the Gen 1 sim is into buff bad guys. And if that is going to go so well for them, you will see in the story. But as hard as that is for me, because the stories are the part of this that I am the most proud of, I won't present them to you here. If you want to play this yourself, you can and should download the document from the description to read the story yourself, to get a little bit inspiration from it. But if you are only interested in it and want to watch someone else's or my playthrough of it, then I won't spoil the story for you, basically. And now let's get to Generation 2, that is all focused around music. Your sim needs to reach level 5 of the imagination skill as a toddler, complete the artistic prodigy aspiration as a child, reach level 10 of the entertainer career in the musician branch, reach level 10 of the piano, guitar, violin, and singing skills, so basically all musical skills, and complete the musical genius aspiration. Those are a lot of tasks and they can take longer, so I kind of switched to long lifespan in this generation for a short amount of time. And to the name and personality, the name should be based on one of your favorite bands, musicians, or singers. Some examples are Santana, Jimmy for Jimi Hendrix, and Ariana for Ariana Grande. The traits are creative, music lover, and art lover, and fitting lifestyles are close-knit and indoorsy, and their star sign is Leo. And you live in Oasis Springs in a Mediterranean-style home. The start budget is again 10,000 simoleons, and the rules for the starter home are the same. And lastly, the Generation 2 sim is especially attracted to Asian-looking sims and sims who are talented artists or painters. The Generation 3 sim focuses on nature and wants to reach level 10 of the gardening skill, reach level 10 of either the flower arranging or the herbalism skill, depending on which packs you have, or neither of them if you don't have, I think, seasons and outdoor retreat. And you also need to reach level 10 of the gardener career in the botanist branch, or you can only make money from plant sales. And you should also have at least one of each available type of plant, or at least one of each type of frog, and also complete the freelance botanist aspiration. The name of the sim of this generation should be inspired by a flower or plants. Some examples are Fleur, Daisy, and Basil, and the traits of this sim are loves outdoors, vegetarian, or green fiend, and they're also base game replacement for all of them. Fitting lifestyles are health food nut and outdoorsy, and their star sign is Taurus. The home requirements are a little bit different because this time the sim has a favorite color, which is green. So even as a toddler, the Gen 3 sim wants their toddler room to have a lot of green furniture and wants to have a lot of plants and earthy tones in their childhood room. If Seasons is available, this sim loves to collect all of the Harvest Fest crop packages from their parents and grandparents who didn't have a use for them. And the Gen 3 sim already moves out as a teenager, which is another good reason for the Gen 2 to be on long lifespan. And you live on a large lot in Newcrest and aspire to have a farmhouse later, but you start with a completely empty lot with nothing but a tent and some of the furniture from your childhood bedroom and 0 simoleons, and it could also potentially be an off-the-grid lot. That would make sense if you want to play that way. And yeah, the Gen 3 sim is attracted to chubby sims and sims with the good trait. And Generation 4 is all about romance. They need to reach level 5 of the communication skill as a toddler, complete the social butterfly aspiration as a child, reach level 10 of the social media career, or the base game replacement is to be a comedian. They want to reach level 10 of the charisma skill and level 10 of the comedy skill and complete the serial romantic aspiration. And it's going to be really fun to see which names are going to be chosen for the sim of this generation, because it's going to be based on a celebrity crush that the player has had, including fictional characters. Their traits are outgoing, romantic, and self-assured, and fitting lifestyles are hungry for love and people person, and their star sign is Leo. In their children's or toddler room, there should be all of the different types of big stuffed animals that are available, and you live later in your life, not as a toddler, but you live in Magnolia Promenade, or the base game replacement is the commercial area of Willow Creek, in a suburban or modern house, and you should turn all of the 4 lots to residential lots and romance at least one person from each household in their neighborhood. And you can again build a starter house with 10,000 simoleons and the same rules. And the Gen 4 sim is attracted to older sims and sims with blue eyes. And another extra challenge that you could add but don't have to is to have a baby with each sim you romance during the serial romantic aspiration, but only take care of one, which is going to be the Gen 5 sim. The Generation 5 sim is a genius and should reach level 5 of the thinking skill as a toddler, complete the Wizkid aspiration as a child, get to level 10 of the scientist or tech guru career in the entrepreneur branch, and reach level 10 of the logic skill, the programming skill, and complete the nerd brain aspiration. The name should be based on a scientist like Albert Einstein, Stephen Hawking, and Marie Curie. And the traits should be genius, bookworm, and perfectionist. Fitting lifestyle would be workaholic and techie. The star sign is Gemini. And originally I wanted to give all of them a favorite color to give them a little bit more personality, but I didn't want to let it get too close to the Not So Berry challenge and have it all focused around colors, so I didn't choose to do it. But if you're interested, the favorite color of this sim is blue. And you live in Windenburg or Newcrest if you only have the base game, in a Tudor home, and you can take a laptop or PC that you own as a teenager with you to this empty lot, basically. And it's not empty, there's a house on there, but the interior is empty, that's what I meant. And the Gen 5 sim is attracted to dark-skinned sims and sims with the trait genius. And I'm presenting all these different generations in a specific order to you now, of course, but keep in mind that you don't have to do all of the generations to complete the challenge. You can only pick out the challenges that you like and basically give them any order that you want to. The Generation 6 sim is a party animal and should reach at least level 5 of the social skill as a child by the night owl and seldom sleepy reward traits. If Get Together is installed, should be the leader of the club with 8 members and reach level 10 of the charisma and mixology skill, level 5 of the dancing and 10 of the DJ mixing skill, if Get Together is installed again, and complete the party animal aspiration. And the name should be chosen based on cocktails or alcoholic drinks like Brandy or Mary for Bloody Mary, or Jack or Daniel for Jack Daniels. And the traits are Dance Machine, Insider and Outgoing, with base game replacements again, of course. And fitting lifestyles are People Person, and their star sign is Cancer. And you live in San Myshuno in an apartment and have basically 5,000 simoleons to buy furniture. And the Gen 6 sim is attracted to vampires, red hair and freckles. The Gen 7 sim now is a vampire in the non-base game version. To not make this video too long, I'm only going to present the non-base game versions, and you can know yourself that there will be another base game replacement challenge. But Generation 7 is based on vampires. You want to reach level 10 of the writing skill, level 15 of the vampire lore skill, and reach level 10 of the writer career in the author branch, and complete the vampire family aspiration. You should choose a vampiric name, like for example Vladimir, Lucifer or Priscilla, and traits are creative, romantic and family orientated, so you're not necessarily a bad vampire. And fitting lifestyles are indoorsy and workaholic, and the star sign is Pieces, and you live in Forgotten Hollow in a spooky Victorian style home. And again start with 10,000 simoleons. The Gen 7 sim is attracted to humans again, and sims with glasses and long hair. The Generation 8 focuses on pets and wants you to reach level 5 of the pet training skill, raise 4 pets from a kitten or puppy into an adult animal, reach level 10 in the education career, the professor branch, or if you don't have university, be an astronaut, and complete the Friend of the Animals aspiration. The name should be based on an animal like a Leo, raven or fawn, and traits should be cat lover, dog lover and vegetarian, and the star sign is Virgo. You live in Brenton Bay, of course, and in a Dutch colonial style house, and this time you have a starting budget of 17,000 simoleons to also be able to take care of the animals. And the Gen 8 sim is attracted to sims with big or aquiline noses and sims that own a pet or have a big heart for animals. The Generation 9 sim really wants to be famous and reach level 5 in the communication and imagination skill as a toddler, complete the social butterfly aspiration, reach level 10 of charisma and acting skill, and level 10 also of the acting career, and complete the master actor and master actress aspiration. And the name should be chosen based on a famous or your favorite actor or actress. Some examples are Leonardo for Leonardo DiCaprio, Angelina or Maisie for Maisie Williams. And the traits are outgoing, hot-headed, and either non-committal or self-absorbed. That's your choice, basically. Fitting lifestyles are people person or adrenaline seeker, and the star sign is Aries. You live in Del Sol Valley in either a Mediterranean or trailer home that is a 10,000 simoleon starter home again. And the Gen 9 sim is attracted to blonde sims and sims with the cheerful trait. The Generation 10 sim basically wants to be really rich and live a normal life, which is exactly why I put them in Strangerville, but don't worry, you don't need to play through the Strangerville mystery if you don't want to. And they want to reach level 10 of the logic and charisma skill, and reach level 10 in a career that could be either business, the management branch, law, the private attorney branch, or a politician in the politician branch, and also complete the fortune aspiration or mansion baron if you like to build. And choose a name based on one of the top 10 richest people at that point in time, or that are related to wealth in a way, like the names bill, bug, or crystal. And traits are neat, materialistic, and perfectionist. Fitting lifestyles would be workaholic and indoorsy, and the star sign is Libra. And as I already said, you live in Strangerville in a Victorian-style home. And the Gen 10 sim is attracted to big brown eyes and big lips, and depending on the gender of the Gen 10 sim, also is attracted to beards. Generation 11 is supposed to be a very relaxing generation. They just want to live a happy beach life, reach level 10 of the fishing skill, reach level 3 of the fisherman career, and complete the angling ace aspiration. And you can choose a name based on or related to water, fishes, or mermaids, like Oceana, Ford, or River. And the traits are cheerful, child of the ocean, and loves the outdoors. Fitting lifestyles are outdoorsy or technophobe. And the star sign is Capricorn. You live in a Solani, in a beach house, but you could also start on an off-the-grid lot with 0 simoleons and only a tent and a fireplace. And because the next world that we are going to visit is Glimmerbrook, you can probably imagine that the Gen 11 sim is attracted to spellcasters, but also sims with curly hair, beauty marks, big eyebrows, and sims with the cheerful trait. And now the 12th generation focuses on magic and wants you to reach level 10 of the social and creativity skill as a child, and as a teenager or adult reach level 10 of the knitting skill, or the base game replacement would be painting, and wants you to have at least 3 children and complete the spellcraft and sorcery aspiration. You choose a name based on a witch or wizard, like Sabrina, Hermione, or Merlin. And traits are creative, romantic, and outgoing. Fitting lifestyle would be hungry for love and a people person, and the star sign is Pisces. You live in Glimmerbrook in an old Tudor, Victorian, magical or cottage style build, and start with 16,000 simoleons. And the Gen 12 sim is attracted to humans, sims with short hair and narrow faces, and sims with the perfectionist trait. Generation 13 focuses on being academic and on villainy. You could and should reach level 5 of the thinking skill as a toddler, complete the WizKid aspiration, finish school with grade A, reach level 10 of the logic skill, reach level 10 of the research and debate skill, get a degree in villainy, and reach level 10 in the secret agent career in the villain branch, and complete the academic aspiration. The name could be based on a TV villain or a famous criminal like Joffrey, Hannibal, or Bonnie, and traits are genius, evil, and ambitious. If parenthood is installed, this sim starts with -100 in empathy, and the star sign is Sagittarius. You move out when you get accepted into university and live in the dorms, so there's no real starter house here. And after the Gen 13 sim has finished their degree, they still live in the middle part of Brightchester. And the Gen 13 sim is attracted to skinny sims, sims with straight black hair, and sims with the trait genius. The Gen 14 sim is a maker and lives the eco lifestyle and wants to reach level 10 of the logic and fabrication skills and reach level 10 of the civil designer career in the green technician branch, and also wants to complete the master maker aspiration. The name should be based on an activist or environmental activist like Jane, based on Jane Goodall, Paul, based on Paul Watson and Paul Harkin, and Greta, based on Greta Thunberg. And the traits are good, maker, and either genius or green fiend. Fitting lifestyles would be single and loving it, and the star sign is Scorpio. And you live in Evergreen Harbor in a modern eco-style home and start with 10,000 simoleons again. And the Gen 14, we are already on 14, the Gen 14 sim is attracted to sims with brown hair, with a snub or a delicate nose, and sims with small lips. And now the 15th and final generation based on Snowy Escape wants you to reach level 10 of the rock climbing skill, reach level 10 of the snowboarding skill, wants you to complete the extreme sports enthusiast aspirations, and once you have that, the ambitious generation challenge ends as soon as these 3 challenges are completed and you hug the sim that is Gen 15's best friends on the top of Mount Komorebi. And choose a name based on a famous explorer like Leif Erikson, James Cook, or Felicity Aston. And the traits are active, adventurous, and bro. Fitting lifestyles are adrenaline seeker, and the star sign is Aquarius. And as there won't be a good way and affordable option to start practicing rock climbing outside of Mount Komorebi, and the story says that the sim already did some bouldering as a teenager, it's okay if you start with rock climbing level 3 and you live in Mount Komorebi in a traditional Japanese style house, again starting with 10,000 simoleons. And yeah, there are basically no attraction preferences because this sim is like in the story, there is no partner, there is no child, so there are no gender preferences. But I have to say, I think the last story is my favorite because instead of focusing on love and family like so many of the others do, and which is great, this one is a little bit special because it focuses completely on friendship, and that is pretty nice, and I think a nice way to end the ambitious generations challenge. But of course, as soon as we get new packs and new worlds, I'm going to add more generations to this. And now I really hope that some of you want to play this challenge too, and that would mean the world to me, and I hope you are going to have so much fun with this. And even if you aren't into gameplay but you hear someone talking about not knowing what to do in gameplay, maybe you think of this challenge and maybe you think it could be fun for someone else. It was so much fun to do, it was a lot of work, and I hope it pays off and makes the gameplay and the day of someone better. And with that, I hope you liked and enjoyed this video. If you would consider subscribing, you would make me super duper happy, and I hope we'll see each other again.